Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, 9:30 a.m. We'll call our regularly scheduled board meeting to order. Thank you, everyone. Board colleagues, great to see you here in person and those on screen. Superintendent Dr. Stubblefield, to all of our staff, and to any guests that are with us both here in person and online. Welcome. Good to see you all this morning. So we'll get started with our meeting as we do at every board meeting. And before I continue, if anyone needs language interpretation in Spanish or in a different language, we have interpreters available this morning. Si alguien necesita intérprete en esta mañana en español o algún otro idioma, por favor déjenos saber y les podemos ayudar con interpretación en otro idioma en esta mañana. So if you do need an interpreter for a different language this morning, please let one of our staff persons know, and we'll make sure that we have live interpretation for you this morning. So we'll review our board norms and protocols. We agree to respect differences of opinions in making decisions for the district, to follow best practices in managing the superintendent and the management of the board itself, to stay on task when conducting business for the district, including while at board meetings, to never surprise the superintendent or each other when conducting official business of the district, to read these norms at the beginning of each board meeting and at board workshops as a reminder of how to conduct our meetings, and to continually self-check to determine if we are following our norms when conducting district business. Again, welcome. Good to see everyone. Thank you for joining us. With that, Ms. Smith, would you please do a roll call?
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, present.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, present.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mylan Jr. present.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, present.
Rachel Russell. Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Next, is there a motion to approve today's regular agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark.
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell. Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, board. All right, we're going to jump right into our agenda. First up, again, one of my favorite portions of our meetings, we have our recognitions and awards. Would invite Dr. Jones to the podium. Good morning, Dr. Jones.
Good morning, President Lopez. Good morning, Board of Education. Good morning, Dr. Stubblefield. I am very privileged to be able to present our Employees of the Month. I'm going to see if I can get that to present for us. Here we go. Our first Employee of the Month that we will recognize is Javier Iracoze. He is an instructional coach. They are an instructional coach at Wynot High School as nominated by Carolyn Hummel. Mr. Iracoze has been an outstanding support in our classrooms at Wynot. As an alum, he brings passion and purpose to every interaction. He greets every student, no matter the class size, and puts even the most nervous ELL learners at ease with his calm, respectful demeanor. He anticipates classroom needs, assists seamlessly, and shows a clear dedication to becoming an educator himself. His thoughtful reflection and eagerness to learn makes him a role model for students and a true asset to our school. He is well deserving of district recognition. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Thank you. He is our classified representative. Our certified representative is Maggie Bender. There we go. Maggie Bender is an instructional coach at Eugene Ware Elementary School, as nominated by Rihanna Brownlee. It's with great excitement that I nominate Maggie Bender for Employee of the Month. As an instructional coach, she goes above and beyond to support both teachers and students. Maggie brings a positive, solution-focused attitude to everything she does, whether she's co-planning, modeling lessons, or leading PD. She also takes initiative with school-wide goals, data analysis, and planning that truly moves the work forward. Maggie's heart, leadership, and commitment make a big difference every day. She's more than deserving of this recognition. Once again, I present to you the Employee of the Month, certified Ms. Maggie Bender.
Good evening, good morning, Board
Good
President, Board
morning.
members, and Dr. Stubblefield. So great to see you. Dr. Sarah Lucero, Assistant Superintendent of Student Services. I'm excited to present the first student of the month of the school year. Our first one, I would like for us to give to Kalia Liggins, who is only 4 and was a little, here we go. But is ready to take on the world. Yes, there we go. You got it. She was nominated by Principal Maxwell for her outstanding positive behavior. This year, she is a student at Earl Watson, and alongside with her brother, although they were in different classes, relied on each other for support. This year, her brother moved to kindergarten, and she was really stepping forward with confidence and maturity and becoming a true role model. We are so excited watching her grow into such a caring and confident, inspiring student. She's so much joy. Let's give it up for Kalia. And present, she has her family with her, so.
Good job, girl.
Okay, for elementary, Yuremi Castel Martinez. Yuremi is a student at Stony Point North. She was nominated by her teacher, Mrs. Otto, who is in the audience with us, for her positive behavior. She is a true Stony Point North superstar with all her positive attitude and excitement and desire to learn. But one thing you should know about her, when she grows up, she's going to own her own business, and it's going to be fashion. And luckily for her, she has 4 sisters to practice with. One who's at Washington High School and who her family wouldn't let her skip school to come today. But with her, she also has her mother and her father, and her teacher is present. So let's give it up for you, Amy. Middle school, we have Levi Ramirez Portales. Levi, he's a 6th grader, but he already knows what it means to be a gentleman. He has learned early in life from his family, if you respect others, they will respect you back. And so he was nominated by his teacher, Miss Miller, who is in the audience as well, for his positive behavior, wanting to help others and have empathy. He is a quiet force of positivity among his peers. He's often there to help others. When I asked him, how do you remain so positive at school? He said, by his friends. It's important to be around the right people who are positive. He wants to go to school, but he also wants to play football and possibly at the Chiefs. Let's give it up for Levi. Last but not least, she is a force to be reckoned with. Our high school student at Washington High. Let's give it up for Rady Johnson. When I say she is a force, I mean it on so many levels. She's so sweet, so positive, but get her on the wrestling mat, and she is ready to go. She got 5th in the state last year, and she's come back this year for 1st. She is in our ROTC. She is in the Kitty Hawks Honor Society. She is not only in it, she's the president. She has a 4.1 weighted GPA, ranking 4th out of 265 students while excelling in college-level classes. She is truly an athlete in track and field, cross and country, and as you know, wrestling. She's been a team captain. She's been part of president of JAG KC. She's been part of our restorative justice program. The question is, what is she not? Our superintendent student advisory council, Kansas Future Teacher of the Year. Yes, you heard that. She's going to go to school at Baker to study early childhood, so let's get her a contract now. Give it up for Rady. Thank you for honoring.
Thank you. And just a reminder, while Mr. Simmons comes forward, we'll take a brief break and take a photo with all of our employees and students of the month and their families and staff. So don't go anywhere. We'll take a quick break after this next recognition and make sure we take photos. And family, please make sure you take your photos as well. Good morning, Mr. Simmons.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Board President Lopez, Vice President Russell, board members, Dr. Stubblefield, our superintendent, staff and colleagues who are watching online and present. We are finally, after a few delayed opportunities, ready to acknowledge our spring scholar athletes. The athletes that we are acknowledging today did one of two things. They either were voted to their all-state teams or they participated in their state-level athletic event. So we'll get started with our first scholar. As a junior, she qualified for state track 5A and 3 events in the 100, 200, and long jump from Harmon, Amaya Garcia. The head coach for the girls team at Harmon is Talia Baker. Next up for the Schlegel track team, we have a few young ladies being recognized today. The first one finished 7th in the 300-meter hurdles, but also broke the school record in 300-meter hurdles last year. As a junior, Sanaya Sykes. Sanaya Sykes was also a part of the young ladies 4x1 team at Schlegel that qualified for state. So we have those young ladies with us today, Sanaya Sykes, who we just called. We also have freshman Lauren Newton and junior Naomi Taylor. Also upon that team that is not here today are Lauren Newton and Sanaya Sloan. The head girls track coach at Schlegel is Caitlin Miller. Washington High School has a couple of young ladies qualify for state. Kylan Lawrence Nichols is not here today. She qualified. I'm sorry. See, I should have had someone telling me about the presentation. Uh-oh. Let's try it. It's not moving. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Let's try it. There we go. Sorry, I apologize. Let me go through the pictures of our young scholar athletes. Sorry about that, ladies. So back to Washington. Kylan Lawrence Nichols qualified in the 200 and the 400. She is not here because she graduated and she is participating on the track team and enrolled at Pitt State University. Here with us is freshman who qualified and finished in 8th place in the 100 meters, freshman Corey Current. The Washington head coach is Kimberly Rollins. The Sumner ladies track team sent a couple of young ladies down to the state meet as well. Senior Michaela Patrick is not here. She qualified in the triple jump. We do have with us today, qualified as a junior in the shot put, Zion Jackson. And the Sumner girls head track coach is Charlize Wesson, and the shot put coach is Justin Baker. The Sumner boys team, Samir Moore could not make it today because he is participating in track at UMKC, but this gentleman had capped off a wonderful high school career in track and field by placing 3rd in the triple jump, and he was the state champion in the long jump.
Boys head coach is Jeff Wright, and the jumps coach is Milton Henry Jr. The last group we will recognize today is our Sumner Academy girls soccer team. They are represented by 5 young ladies who served on this team that not only finished as the Meadowlark Conference champions, but also had an undefeated regular season. So a great accomplishment for those young ladies last year. Making the All-State team as a freshman, 5A honorable mention, Paulina Perez. We had several young ladies make the second team for 5A, sophomore Anadi Aguirre, freshman Abby Roblo, sophomore Mia Terrasis, and we are pretty confident that this last young lady did something that no other young lady in KCKPS history has done, and that was voted to the first team All-State team for 5A, Flor Vidal. And the Sumner Academy girls team is coached by Megan Schmidt. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for our All-State participants in the spring sports. Great job, ladies. Thank you.
If you'll all give us a quick 10-minute recess while we take photos with our scholars and employees and families. Thank you. Thank you for letting us celebrate our scholars and our employees. Always a great moment when we get to celebrate our scholar athletes, and employees of the month. So we'll continue with our agenda board. Next on our agenda is item 2, our community comment. As a reminder, our policy is online. Anyone is welcome to sign up for community comment. Please just contact our board clerk, Mrs. Smith, no later than the Monday at noon before the board meeting to make sure that you are on the agenda, and she'll confirm all details with you. First on the agenda, we have Miss Emma Brand. I don't see her. Here is Miss Emma online. Can you hear me? She's online. Okay, I don't hear her either. So next, the next comment board was asked if we could do that after the library presentation since it's concerning the library. So Mr. Schrader, I do see you here. We'll hold off on your comment until after the presentation from the library. Thank you. Okay. And again, as a reminder, everyone is welcome to give comment to the board. Just make sure you sign up with our board clerk to do so. So next board, we'll continue with our agenda. Next up is item 4, our consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve today's consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Milam Jr.,
Robert Milam Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Dr. Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, board. Next agenda item, item 5, is the organization of the board. Ms. Smith, will you please pass out the election slips? And just for the record, Ms. Clark and Mr. Milan will submit their votes directly to Ms. Smith so that they can be read out loud as well.
Just one moment. Yolanda Clark has voted for Rachel Russell for Vice President. Wanda Brownlee Page has voted for herself. Rachel Russell has voted for herself. Randy Lopez has voted for Rachel Russell. Dr. Nguyen has voted for Wanda Brownlee Page, and Mr. Milan has also voted for Wanda Brownlee Page.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you, board. We will table the next election for the next regularly scheduled board meeting. So we'll continue with our agenda. Next is item 6. We will have a couple of reports from our library. First, we'll welcome up Ms. Laura Hunt, our Director of Libraries. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lopez, members of the board, Dr. Stubblefield. Thank you so much for having me here today. Let's see, I find my presentation. There we go. Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you a little bit first about summer reading and then about the main library project, but I didn't want you to miss out on the summer reading funds since we wrapped up at the end of August. So you can see from our statistics in this slide that we have seen increases over the last 2 years, from 2023 to 24, and then from 24 to 25. I am sure that some of those increases are just still responses rebounding from COVID as people start to get back into their normal habits. So that's a good sign that people are still continuing to use the library and participation is growing. And then I just wanted to share a couple of fun photos with you. We have our baby butterflies in the top left, which that was actually in anticipation of our Butterfly Festival, which was just this last Saturday, September 20th. So I'll have some adorable photos from that to share. And then these other programs that occurred over the summer, Turner's Foam Party, Art Workshop with the Nelson, Exotics Are Us. I just love that photo of those kids looking at that armadillo. We always have lots of great programs for kids and families and adults at our library branches, so check out our events page to see all the cool things that are happening. We also have a lot of partnerships, so our GED graduation ceremony is a partnership with Made Men. We graduated 54, we had 54 GEDs this year, and then we had 9 attend the graduation ceremony, which we hold at the main library so their families can come and watch them receive their GEDs. And then the Organization for Community Preservation was a summer camp that visited, and they actually had a theme of the 1980s, so they got to kind of look at all this old 1980s technology, and I hear, very amazed at some of the stuff that they saw, the VHS tapes, the cassette tapes, the microform machines, and a very old floppy disk, which I hear they were not impressed with. None of us were impressed with the floppy disks, I guess. So moving on to main library. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the current needs, the history, and some funding options for this project. And I wanted to go through this just because I know maybe there are some new board members, or maybe it's been a while since this happened, or for the public to kind of get a brief history of what has happened and what the current situation is at Main. So our current situation at Main is that it's our oldest building in the system. Not much has changed in 60 years. So you can see the photo on the right there is actually a photo of where our current conference room spaces are on the first floor. And it looks very much the same, except for we put some glass rooms in that back corner. And really only the first floor was meant to be a public library. And of course, it was designed for a 1966 library, not for a modern library. The second floor was actually administration for the library, and the third floor was district administration. So, and then our technical services department, who actually process our books, they put the labels on, they do the cataloging, they were in a totally separate building. But then when the district administration moved here in 2010, all of the library administration, which is myself, the assistant director, HR, finance, moved up to the third floor. Technical services came over from that other building and went to the third floor. And we've added departments since then, like marketing and IT. And then the second floor became our Kansas room with our history collection. And we expanded the public service section of the library to be kids and AV on that second floor. So because of this, it's difficult because it hasn't really been designed for a modern library, which has kind of been retrofitted into existing spaces. And the building layout really limits our ability to provide those modern services. For example, it's difficult to get electrical and data beyond just the walls and the columns because the floor is concrete, which makes it solid, but it also makes it hard to run cabling into other areas of that space. Let's see. So then some current needs. You are all probably familiar with some of these needs. But when we worked with SAP, we really honed in on what staff and the public were saying were very important. So you'll see these categories also in their presentation. One need that we assessed was better sighting. So for example, we have our parking in the back, and so patrons park in the back. They can park on the street, but if they park in the lot in the back, they sometimes think they can come in the back door, which is a staff entrance. And so there's not great signage back there. They kind of wander around, wondering where to go. The view from the front, if you're coming in from the front, it doesn't look like a library. We've heard people say that it looks like it maybe is a post office or some other like very official government building. And then even when you walk in through the doors, it's kind of confusing as to where you go. For security, our sight lines aren't great. So on the first floor, you've got a really big staff workspace in the middle of the building, so no matter where you put a staff member, you can't see very many areas of the building, so there's not great sight lines there. There's very tall stacks. On the second floor, the departments are siloed, so it's hard to communicate between them. There's a restroom that's down a hallway, which doesn't have any staff eyes on it, so we do have some issues there with security. And then we have really poor access control in the building, so there's just a lot of different keys. We don't use key cards for most of the entrances, so it becomes challenging with who can get access to what. Sometimes our LEOs can't even get from one space to another and need to be let in by staff. Of course, our elevator is old. It can't handle like a pallet of books. It's not big enough for that. And we need a lot of ADA updates as well. So for our physical updates, we really need to look at where our restrooms are located. There's no restroom on the first floor. There's only one ADA accessible restroom. The second floor restrooms are not accessible, so things like that. And then finally, like functional updates, our support services, you'll probably hear us mention admin and support services. And administration is, like I said, like myself, the assistant director, HR, finance, and then our support services are those individuals who order the books, who process the books, our marketing, our IT, training, all of those kind of back of the house functions that support the functioning of the library. So right now, those are very dispersed. There's a lot of them on the third floor, but especially with technical services, you've got some of it happening on the first floor, some in the basement, some on the third floor. So there's just a lot of adjacencies that really need to be improved there. So that was an overview of just our current needs and things that could be better in our building. And then I'll just go through quickly a history of the project for those of you who maybe don't remember or who weren't here for that. The Board of Education approved adding 2 mills to the public library's levy to save for updates for Main Library and other capital projects. That was back in 2015. And then from 2019 to 2020, there was an assessment done on the facility, and inefficiencies were identified, such as aging systems and outdated design, not conducive to modern library services, and that was updated in 2020 because of the pandemic that got delayed. In 2024, the Main Library project was included in that bond issue, but it didn't pass, and so the library was removed from the second bond issue, and 1.5 of the library's 2 mills were transferred over to the school districts to support those projects. And now today, May of 2025, SAP was selected to do another update to just double check and make sure the numbers were still correct, get updated cost, confirm the community needs, and then also look at potential use of tax credits in this project. And now to today, SAP will present some options for moving forward with the project. So you'll get to see those right after this presentation. But before they get started, I wanted to just give you some sense of where we are with funding. So due to that 2 mil increase and some fiscal conservatism over the last several years, we have a total library capital fund and cash balance as of 7/1/25 of that number there, almost $48 million. And then the 0.5 mils per year going forward will bring us about $680,000 a year going forward. So with just this, we potentially could fund most of the options listed in SAP's presentation. But there are some other options if the board would like to look at it, if we didn't want to draw from that totally, or if we wanted to do some different payment methods. So one option, if you should choose to go this way, would be you could dedicate $38 million of that fund for the project. That leaves behind $5 million in capital and $5 million in reserves for emergencies. And then apply half of a mil, so that's 0.25 mils per year toward a lease purchase for the remainder of the cost of the project. So if we dedicate $38 million and then do that half of a mil toward a lease purchase, the total available for the project is in that right column. So you can see it goes 10 years is 40.3 million and 20 is 41.6 million. So that's one option with just lease purchase for partial cost if you wanted to do it that way. And then another option is to use a lease purchase agreement for the entire cost. And so in this table, you'll see that that is calculated by the project size. So 36 million, if you do different loan amounts, so 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, those would be the payments per year. And of course, the bigger the project size and the shorter the term, with 7.12 million being the largest payment there. So the advantage of this approach is that it keeps the library's cash balance where it is and allows us to make payments over time. And then potentially we could grow more money in that fund as we keep that money in. But of course, there would be interest payments on that. So that would be, something to weigh. But like I said, with our cash balance currently, we already have enough for most of those options that you're going to see after this. Okay, so that is what I have for you today. Do you have any questions for me before we move on to SAP's presentation, or would you like to do the whole thing and then get questions?
I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Brownlee Page.
In one of the other presentations, we talked about tapping into the Historical Society and possibly keep some things, but try to get funding from them. Is that still a consideration?
Yes, and you'll see that more of that in SAP's presentation. They have the overall cost for different options, and preserving tax credits will be reflected in the total cost of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Board, additional questions for Ms. Hunt? If not, is there a motion to accept the library director's report this morning?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
Nguyen, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Next, we'd invite Mr. Brad McKenzie to the podium from SAP Architects, and good morning. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Good morning, Board President Lopez, Dr. Stubblefield, and board members. I am Brad McKenzie with SAP Design Architects. We are going to talk to you today about the 4 approaches that we have developed over the past 3 months to kind of give the board some options for how to proceed for a 21st century library at the main branch. I got to click the right button here. Before I do that, we do just want to set the groundwork for this, talk a little bit about schedule. So we've gone through all the community engagement, the stakeholder meetings. We've done all of our physical analysis. We did a previous presentation about a month ago on all of that information, and then we're going to be presenting the options today. After this meeting, we're going to be compiling all of the data we have collected and provide you guys a printed and digital report that has everything inclusive in it. We hope to have that out to you late next week. And then we will continue to meet and be available for questions to help you guys make a decision. This is a quick schedule we put together. Our meeting today is on the very left of that. If the board has the information they feel they need to make a decision in October, and then proceeds with the RFQ process for the design team and CMR, fast forward, could probably begin construction in early 2027. And that's kind of what we've based some of our numbers on. So looking at the square footage analysis, I think we touched on this last time, but after looking at the usage of the current library, the population the library serves, looking specifically at the main branch, and looking at some standards, we use the Connecticut State Library Standards, we need about 69,000 square feet of library space. That's just the library. That's not counting the central admin offices. And that's just some data there from the standards and the target of 69,000 square feet for the library. Then if we add into that the central admin, the processing, all of that, that's another 27,000 square feet. So we feel that you guys need a target of about 96,000 total square footage to get the 21st century library and a functional administration facility. So then we look at the existing building. It is 75,000 square feet, which includes the basement. Right now, there are offices in the basement, which we feel should not be in the basement. Nobody wants to be, well, maybe some people do, but it's not very healthy to be in a dark basement with no sunlight. So there are some programmatic things that could go in the basement, and that's going to be something that once you guys make a decision and we or whoever the design team is starts working on this, we may be able to recapture some of that basement space. But to be consistent in all the options, we've excluded the basement in the square footage. So Laura did a great job of talking about some of the engagement and why we're here, what we need. I'm not going to go through all of this information. I want to point out 2 things that she didn't mention with the existing building. Actually, 3 things. We talked about the bones of it are really good, but there are several code issues with the building that would need to be addressed, one of which would be significant. The building would have to be fully sprinkled. There are a variety of other things, and we touched on a lot of them in our previous report. She talked about the security and feedback. There's some ADA concerns. So we definitely have a need at the main branch, and hopefully we're going to give you guys enough information on how to proceed. These are the topics that Laura touched on a little bit. Whenever we started developing these approaches, we're like, okay, so what are some of the key things that are issues with the current branch, and how can we address them? So we identified the siding, which she talked about, and it includes the green space and different exterior elements, the way the building fronts the street. Also security, which she talked quite a bit about. The physical condition. One of the things that is also important to keep in mind is the energy efficiency. When that building was built and when it was renovated, the energy codes of today did not apply, so it's not a very energy efficient building. And you'll see how in some of the options that we're going to discuss that can be better addressed than others. Functionally, there's a lot of issues functionally with the library right now. She touched on a lot of that. The historic fabric, right now, everything that's there is good. And the question is, how much of that do we want to preserve? And then, of course, budget. And if you look at these 6 bars, that horizontal line is kind of where we've established the benchmark of where we are today. So one of the other things to think about is whenever we started looking at these options, one of the concerns was, well, as we expand the building, we're going to lose on-site parking. So we started looking at, okay, so what parking is available? There's street parking out front, which is used quite a bit. That's where I usually park when I go to the library. And there's the other parking garages in the area. There's also been discussion in the past from the UG about getting some of the land to the east. Nothing's been finalized, but it's been a discussion, so that's why we've kind of dashed that in with a circle. And then one of the things we're thinking, we know there's a development going at the corner. We have no idea what that's going to be, but maybe there's an opportunity to park there as well. But I think the key takeaway here is with this being an urban library, there is a lot of available public parking around the area that can be utilized. So depending on how the board wants to look at the library and available parking, are we comfortable with making most of the parking in the adjacent public spaces, or is on-site parking an important factor? The historic tax credits was brought up, and that is a big factor in all of this. We will have 2 approaches that take advantage of the tax credits and 2 that don't, and we'll talk about pros and cons. Generally, the process for this is whatever we do, we have to submit to the Landmarks Board for approval. If it is pretty straightforward and they have the ability to approve it, is my understanding. If it is not, then they would pass that on to SHPO. So, for example, if we're looking at ignoring the tax credits and getting the building, or if we're going to demo the building, they would not be able to approve it. It would go to SHPO, which is the State Historic Preservation Organization. Based on the state laws, they're not likely to approve that type of thing either. So then if that's not approved, then it goes back to the local jurisdiction. So essentially, the UG would have to go through a process of public hearings and all this to make a decision that there is no feasible and prudent alternative and allow for the building to be demoed or the historic fabric to be ignored. So there is a process there. The reason why that's important is because that impacts the time frame of everything, and we'll talk about that in just a second as well. So each of the 4 options we have will have a unique timeline, and some of them, the timelines can overlap, but we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the schedule. The tax credits, if you choose to take them, are a 40% to the construction of the renovations of the existing building. The tax credits do not apply to additions. They apply only to renovations in the building. The other thing to keep in mind is if you do choose to take advantage of the tax credits and you do future work in the building, those costs also get a 40% tax credit as long as you maintain the historic integrity of the building. So now the costs that we used, we budgeted a little bit of money for the basement, $75 to $100 a square foot in certain options, just because there's going to be a sprinkler system that has to be installed. The renovations, we're budgeting $250 to $300 a square foot. That could be a little bit more if we go with the total gut and renovate option. And the new construction at $450 to $475 a square foot. So where did those numbers come from? Those aren't arbitrary. What we did is we looked at some recent construction costs for library projects. And then we escalated that cost out to the first quarter of 2027. So assuming there are no significant economic changes and inflation go crazy like it did a couple years ago, we feel pretty comfortable that these numbers will provide what we need. And I'm not going to say they're padded, but I think that they're generous enough that we may be able to come in a little bit under these numbers, but we didn't want to shortchange you guys and shoot low and then find out later that we don't have enough money. So these are the budget numbers we've used, and again, to be consistent, we've used them across all the options. One of the things the budget does not include is temporary relocation. So depending on which option, and we'll go over that, you may have to relocate the library and or the administration, and that could come at a cost because you have to find a place, you have to make the place ready for a library, all that. So there is a cost there, and there's way too many variables in what that is for us to include a budget for that, but we just want you to be aware that that is a cost that'll have to be considered. The other thing that we did include is what's called soft costs. Those are the costs for things like design fees, permitting, surveying, your FF&E, so all of the shelving for the books, the furniture, all that stuff that's not part of the construction cost, but is what's called soft costs. We included that, $9 million for each scenario. That's about $100 a square foot. Again, we don't feel that it's a bloated number, but it's generous enough that it should cover everything. All right. Now to the meat of the presentation, the approaches. We have 4 approaches. Approach A is the rehab with addition. B, alteration additions that does not take into account tax credits. C is demolish and rebuild. D is repurpose the current building and have new construction. So we'll talk about A first, rehab with tax credits. So that's renovating the existing top 3 floors and building addition on the back of the building to get the total square footage. This is going to be the least cost. It's about $36 to $39 million. You can see over on the right of this, that's a savings after tax credits of around $6.5 million. So you get those tax credits for all the renovation work in this option. So the attribute to this is, again, this is just a very diagrammatic plan. This may be close to what could ultimately be done or maybe not, but this is just an option. We could put the addition on the back. Again, takes out a lot of the parking. We give you a new identity on the east. It could potentially give you an east entrance and maybe a drive off the east, depending on how we can work that out with the UG. It does give you a little bit of flexibility with how to make the entrance facade a little bit better. And it could enclose the west side so that it's an employee entrance and service entrance. Again, this is just kind of a massing image of it, just to show kind of contextually where it would go. The pros, you take advantage of the tax credits, you maintain the character. You get to change the elevation a little bit of the main entrance if you decide to do that. It does improve the security of the service area and employee parking. And the temporary relocation could be reduced a little bit because you could build the addition before you move stuff into it. The cons, this is the least functionally ideal of the options. This, because we're maintaining the historical character of the building, it is going to be the least improvements functionally for the library, but it is also the least expensive. The energy efficiency is not fully addressed, and so it will have higher operation costs, and it will have off-site public parking. When we get to the end of these 4 options, they're all going to be displayed together with the little bars at the bottom so we can kind of compare and contrast each of the options to one another. Option B, alterations in addition without tax credits. So this basically means we can completely gut the building, do things to the exterior if we want to. A little bit more cost, $45 to $47 million. Again, another potential diagram. This may not be what it turns out to be, but this is an idea. Gives you a new north identity, which I know a lot of people have asked for. The front of the building does not look like a library, so this could address that. You could expand that edge so that it's more of an urban frontage. You can get some green space to the south. It would be a little less parking. We could have an addition to the north and the south. We could reskin, which could help with energy efficiency. And then on the interior, it takes care of a lot of the current problems with the building for programmatic issues. Pros and cons, you could have a new identity on Minnesota, which would be pretty cool. You get a lot more flexibility in the interior. Safety and security is improved. The investment in the current building infrastructure remains, so you're taking advantage of the bones that you have now. The cons, you don't get the tax credits in this option. Therefore, it's a little more expensive. Temporary relocation would be required probably almost from the get-go because you're getting the entire building. It would not be approved by Landmarks and SHPO, so you'd have to go through that process we talked about earlier, and the governing body would have to make the decision on that. Demolish and rebuild option C, basically 96,000 square feet of brand new construction. You see the price there, $53.5 to $56 million. Obviously, no tax credits. Again, this could be a million different layouts. This is just one that we kind of picked. Obviously, you'd have a new identity, a completely 21st century library. We could still identify that plaza at the corner to give homage to what's there now, but we could also have an east entrance. We could have a rooftop green space. Since there is limited green space on the property, it could be programmable rooftop green space. One of the things we looked at is when we demo, we could maybe get access into the basement for parking. We think that could work. You could expand the drive-through so that the current parking is not quite as awkward, so you can access it from both directions. So there's some good features of that option. The pros, it would address the site issues. It would reduce the verticality of the building, which makes it more efficient to operate. You don't have the physical constraints of the current structure, so there's a lot of flexibility in the design and flexibility in operation once it's built, and it gives the library a new identity. Cons, there's no tax credit. It's the most expensive. You do have the additional demo costs of about $1 million that you don't have with the other options, which is included in the budget. It's likely the longest schedule of all. And you would obviously have to completely relocate everything while this is going on and have to deal with the preservation issues. So that would add to the schedule. Option D, that would be to repurpose the existing building and basically build a new library-only building. And that's not quite the least expensive, but it's one of the least expensive options. So you'd basically be repurposing the existing building to be the admin, and we would make the admin function a whole lot better. We could rehab the first floor to be meeting spaces. So they would still be public spaces, but they wouldn't just be walk-in library spaces. The second floor would essentially be for future growth unless we decided to expand some program. But the thought at this point is the second floor would just be for future. The admin would stay on the third floor except tech services that would move down to the first floor. Then we'd build a new library, and all of your library functions would go in there except for large meeting spaces, which would be in the existing building. And then this would still give you an enclosed service yard in the back. Potentially, we could have employee parking in the basement. So the pros, it retains the historic character. You get the tax credits. In this situation, we don't think there would be any need for temporarily relocating because you could completely build the library, move all that over, and most of the renovation we think could happen while admin is still in the building. You get a brand new energy efficient library. It does not take advantage of the energy efficiency in the current building, so you would still have that because you're maintaining the historical integrity. Again, we're taking up all on-site parking the way this is looking. Again, that could change depending on how we are able to work with the UG. So this is a quick schedule of all of these options. And I want to point out this lighter green line for options A, B, and C. That's a timeline for finding and remodeling a temporary relocation for the library and admin. That would have to happen for options A, B, and C. We think the timeline for all these getting started is relatively similar. The unknown is how long the planning commissions and landmarks would take. That could push the schedules for option B and C, and it looks like I've got option C labeled as option B. I apologize for that. The third one is supposed to be option C with the demo. Option C would be the one that takes the longest amount of time to build, obviously, because you've got to add a couple months for demolition, and all new construction is going to take a while. So that's kind of a schedule for the 4 options together. And then kind of a summary of them. Option A, rehab and addition. You can see the bars at the bottom. Option A certainly improves siding and security. It will make some improvements to the physical condition, but it doesn't take into account the energy efficiency problems that we have. And there are certainly some limitations because of what we have to maintain. So it helps functionally, but it's still not the most functional. Obviously, it takes advantage of historic tax credits and is the most economical. Option B does a pretty good job of siding and security. Because we're not taking tax credits, you get a little bit better physical condition because you can make some energy efficiency improvements. Functionality, it's a little better than A, not ideal, but it's certainly better. Completely ignores the historic character of the building. Budget-wise, it's a little more than A, but it's not the most expensive option. Obviously, option C checks all the boxes. We didn't put security at the maximum just because there is a perceived security issue, just because of the location of it, and with some of the transient population in the area. I don't know how legitimate of a security issue it is, but it is perceived, so it's important to keep in mind. But it checks all the boxes other than historic, and it's really expensive. Option D does a good job with siding and security. For the new construction, physically it's great. Again, we're maintaining the character of the existing building, so there are still some energy efficiency limitations. Functionality, it's almost as good as option C, but not quite. And it does maintain the historical integrity and is your second most economical option. And I think that's it. Are there any questions about? There's a lot of information.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate the presentation. I see there are some questions, so I'll start with Ms. Brownlee-Page. Folks online, Ms. Clark, Mr. Mylan, if you do have a question, I'll be monitoring my screen. Just raise your hand. Ms. Brownlee-Page.
Okay. Do these plans include, we were at Shawnee Mission for a meeting, and there was a severe storm, and instead of moving to a certain location, they pulled down these screens and all this stuff, and they said we were protected. So in terms of severe weather, tornado, what have you, do these plans include, because you were saying you didn't want to do anything to the basement. So if there's a tornado, what does a person do? Or do you have a special plan that's already included that you just didn't tell us?
Right. So we actually have probably done close to 100 safe rooms in our firm, so we're very attuned to how to do safe rooms. We've done them in libraries and schools all over the state. We didn't specifically include it because we haven't really got to that level of detail of design. It would add about 25 to 30% to the cost for that specific area. A lot of times what we'll do in libraries is we'll make like a meeting room a safe room. We could have the existing building analyzed to see if the basement would qualify. The problem is a true ICC 500 safe room, you can't have a building collapse on it and people not be able to get out of it. So realistically, basements they may be safer than being on the first floor, but they're not technically safe rooms because you can't get out of them unless we make other accommodations. So that is something that if we're selected as your design team, we would certainly want to talk about is a safe room in the building.
Okay, well, I was just surprised you didn't include it, because that is a safety issue. And why wouldn't it be included in the cost so that we can look at the whole picture? I'm just asking.
And that's a very good question. There's a lot of factors into how you do a safe room. Do you make a safe room that is designed just for the occupants of your building? Do you make it a community safe room? Do you get FEMA funding for it? There is FEMA funding available oftentimes for safe rooms. And so there's a lot of factors that will dictate how big your safe room needs to be. Is it open after hours? Again, if it's open to the public, then it has to have an exterior access to it. It has to have certain signs. So there's a lot of variables to it. But let's just say we're making one of the meeting rooms a safe room, and it's 2,000 square feet. We would add 25 to 30% to the cost, and I think we could fit that into our budget without any problem.
So are there any laws when making a building, this is Kansas?
Right.
That would mandate you'd have to have something?
Currently, the only laws apply to educational facilities. So a school is required to have a safe room that accommodates all the occupants of the building. Libraries do not currently require that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Mylan, and then Ms. Russell.
Yes, sir. Let me get off mute. Thank you for your presentation. It's very thorough and informative. I just have 2 points and maybe a question. Now, C is the only one that calls for a total demolition. That correct?
Correct.
And you stated in your presentation that is the most expensive one, but it's the best one, correct?
Best is relative.
Okay.
It does
go
check
ahead.
all the boxes, yes, but yes, it is also the most expensive.
So it's the most efficient way to go is C.
Correct.
Okay, now also on C, there is no tax credit, correct?
Correct, because you're demolishing the existing building that provides those tax credits.
And the other 3 there are.
Not option B. Option B,
Tax credit as well.
correct. Option B would be ignoring the tax credits, so you're getting rid of some of the historical features of the current building, but you're keeping the bones of the building.
Okay, so that's for clarity for me to understand, and it was a good presentation. So C is total demolition, and the other 3 is basically rehabbing or renovating in some form, shape, or fashion with a lot of, as Sister Ms. Page just said, some of the extremities that need to be improved in the different levels, correct?
Correct. And if you look at next to the last page of the presentation, it has a summary, and at the top, it tells you which ones have tax credits and which ones don't. And yes, that is correct. The A, B, and D would be renovations to different levels of the existing building.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan, or I'm sorry, Ms. Russell.
I don't think we look alike, but one thing that I wanted to clarify, so on that second to last page, option D, the repurpose existing, could you use tax credits to repurpose the existing in addition to the new construction? Or are you kind of looking, option D is no tax credits at all?
Yeah, and I just noticed that we didn't put with tax credits on there.
Okay.
That option does.
With or without?
It does. You can use tax credits for the renovation work to the current building. The tax
On
credits-
option D?
On option D, as in dog. But
Okay.
they don't apply to the new construction, just to the renovation work. And that is included in the costs in the budget.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify
Yes.
that. And then I don't see Wayne, but I'm sure you may be able to answer this question. Going back to Mrs. Page's question about the safe room space, that is something that we would put in the RFQ as a part of our process for both CMAR and for the design element, if that was something that we wanted to pursue. Is that how that works, or does it get down, or do you get all the way down? I guess I'm trying to balance what we're saying, the money we have versus what we know for sure what we want. Like if we're
Right.
saying we want a safe room, but we only have 30 million to repurpose or whatever, like, would you need to know that on the front end or would that be on the back end?
I think the reason you would want to include that in the RFQ is to make sure that the teams show that they are knowledgeable in how to do a safe room. So
Okay.
if that's important, I think it would be an important factor. I think as far as budget goes, again, the safe room is such a small square footage of the total project that I think we could make it fit within the budgets that you have. It's not going to add like $4 million.
Well, you
to the
said
general.
20 to 30%, and that was my question. Is it 20, 30% of the full budget, or is
No.
it 20, 30? You said something about the space, and that's, if we want a safe room this size, that square footage would
Correct.
be 20 to 30% more than the rest.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Dr. Nguyen.
But just thank you, as you said, you could, with knowledge, absorb it within the current figures.
Yes, I feel confident that we could, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Clark.
Thank you. My question that I have is a little bit off. So on option C, when it talked about basically demolishing and rebuilding, is there anything that we could add to the building that, while tax credits do not apply, but is there anything that we could add to the building that funding or grants would then help with? So I'm just thinking about all the other rebuilding that we're doing, and just wanting to maximize the potential of the building if that were an option.
Well, that's a good question. I am not a grant expert.
Okay.
Ms. Clark, I'm not a grant expert either, but technically, yes, but I also will tell you, as a public entity, we would not want to commit to anything more than the dollars that we have, because that then puts the district, makes the district responsible for it. So if that were going to be the option, it would delay the project until we actually had the dollars at hand, because we wouldn't want to put the district in a financial situation where we didn't have the dollars to pay for it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Thank you. I recognize my question was a little bit out of the box, so thank you so much.
So I guess I'm gonna sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm going to come back to that because I just want to clarify, because I know that we have members of the foundation board here as well. So what the foundation has agreed to do for up to 20 million, once we made a decision, is to go out and ask philanthropy for those dollars. How does that play a role into what Miss, Laura, sorry, I was trying to remember her married name, but I couldn't remember it, sorry. Into what the funding options that she presented. How does that then play a role there?
So, Laura, please chime in. So if the board collectively decided that's the direction they wanted to go, it would basically delay the project until that amount was raised, because we don't have the dollars on hand. If the foundation, for whatever reason, like if they raised it quickly, then it just depends on when the money is actually.
So there's no option that allows us to move forward and still accept dollars from the foundation board?
The board collectively financially wanted to take on the risk that whatever the difference is, that the foundation would raise it in time of the project, because if the project, and foundation, I'm just really stating facts here, I'm not.
But I'm saying in a optimistic world, we know that there's 48 million available. If we left 20 in the reserves and said, hey, our intent is to keep this in the reserves, the foundation board is able to raise the 20 mil if we went the lease purchase option, because it's not due up all up front, then we could supplement the dollars that the foundation raises with the reserve dollars. That's where I guess I'm trying to
Yes,
get
no,
to.
that's what I'm saying, absolutely, but the board would have to know and understand if for some reason the foundation never raised it.
Then we would
we
take
would
the
have
monies
to-
out of the reserve, yeah.
Well, no, the reserve, there's a gap, because we, like, if we had 58 million, we would be able to say, yep, and we'll swing it, and whatever the foundation provided, that's fine. If they didn't, we know we would lose it, but if you just have 20, if we had to have the total amount before we can completely cover it, because if we don't, you're gonna have to allocate it from somewhere else or have a plan for it. So we only have 47 million, and you have to remember that's for capital projects and operations as well. So it's just you are financially taking a greater risk. And if the foundation had the 20 million now, you could totally jump into it, but there's a $10 million, when you look at the amount that we have on hand and the most expensive, was it 57 million? There's a $10 million gap. So we would be operating on a $10 million gap, and then not to get into some other details, but financially, organizations are just like individuals. There is some risk there for like credit rating and those kind of things, because we're committing to something that we actually don't have dollars for. So I'm looking at Brad, our Moody ratings and all of those things could potentially be impacted if we don't actually have the dollars on hand.
I guess I'm still confused
I
how.
think I can, yeah, so I think what Dr. Stubblefield is saying is that the whatever money the foundation raises doesn't increase the available budget for the project. It will just supplement what we have. So like you're saying.
That's what I thought
yeah,
I
if
was
you're-
saying.
Yeah, so if you put 30 million toward the project and we have another 17 million in reserves, we can still commit to the $47 million project. If the foundation raises that money, then that would go toward the project. If they can't, then we would dip into those reserves, but we have the total available in reserves. We just can't say, oh, we have 47 million, but we
Yeah.
can raise 20 million, so really we have 67
Yeah,
million, because
yeah.
we don't.
And I don't think that's what I was saying either. I thought I was saying, like, we have the amount based on what you
Right.
showed.
And that can be used to
Okay.
supplement. That is correct.
And I was just clarifying, we don't have the amount for the most expensive. The one Yolanda asked about, we do not have 57 million. That's what we don't have enough reserves to cover. That's what I was saying.
But that's also the option that probably won't get approved either. So I'm good with that. I just wanted to clarify my understanding. Thank you.
Okay.
But Yolanda asked about the 57 million. That's what I was trying to clarify for Yolanda. Yeah.
Mr.
And
Mylan.
thank you for that, because we want to make sure. We said we're going to be transparent. We also said we're going to use and be responsible with the funding that we do have. And I appreciate you saying that, because money is tight, and people want to make sure we spend it properly. They also want to make sure we remember that we're being taxed if you live here, and nothing against anybody who doesn't. But you got a limited amount of people paying for this, and they're being taxed. So we want to remember that. So I appreciate the discussion, because we need to make sure that we're doing it in a responsible way. And we do need improvements. I'm a library fan, grew up with it, but I also want us to be mindful that people are struggling.
Mr. Mylan.
Yes, thank you, President Lopez. This is good conversation as warranted. I don't want to miss this. Maybe I have missed it, I haven't, but you all mentioned there will be a cost of certification. So my question is, where are the funds that are to be allocated for the cost of taking care of the temporary location? Where are those funds going to be generated from, and what, I don't like to use the word pool, but where, I thought Superintendent was going to, on that line saying that, so where are those funds going to come from to take care of that? Because there will be costs, and we don't know, you cannot put a clamp on it or a definite number on it. Am I saying that right, on the temporary cost? Because we don't know how long it's going to be. if we are to renovate or totally demolish. So
So,
help me with that question.
okay, so, and Laura, you can come back forward. My understanding is depending on the project you select, there are some options, like we do have some district facilities. So depending on what and where it's, the temporary location is decided upon, it may or may not have significant costs. But, and then we also would just have to use those same funds unless Laura has a different option.
Okay, which same funds? That's my question. Where, I mean, aren't they blanketed or something earmarked to use for that? The
Yeah,
temporary
I can speak to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So depending on which option we go with and how much is left in reserves, we would want to be as, conservative as possible when trying to find a space. So we would want to first look for properties that the district maybe already has access to, maybe buildings that have space. We would want to look at some different options for staff working in different locations that we already own. They could work out of different libraries. Our materials handling would really be the bulk of the space that we would need, because those are the individuals who take the materials in and process them and then send them back out to branches. So it kind of has to be like a mailroom sort of situation. So we wouldn't need a lot of space. I'm not anticipating that would be millions of dollars for just to work out of a temporary space, especially if we're able to use an existing space either within the district or within the library. If we did want to look at other options, like for example, having some public space temporarily at a storefront, we can do anything from maybe renting space to even just having maybe like a holds locker where people can pick stuff up, or, so that also varies in terms of cost. And then we have been pretty conservative with our budget over the last several years in anticipation of this project. And so I feel pretty confident that our budget could also absorb some of that cost, our operational budget, not just the capital fund budget. So if we did need to, pay for some different solutions, we could do that.
Dr. Nguyen.
Thank you. Dr. Stubblefield, let me ask you a question that I think may add some clarity for Mr. Mylan. The library funds are the library funds. Anything dealing with the library come out of the library funds. Are any district funds allowed to address any library issues? That is strictly USD 500.
Yeah, Brad is shaking his head, no. We really try to keep them separate, and I'll let Brad address that.
And I asked that because I think Mr. Mylan was kind of thinking, I don't know what he was thinking, but hopefully the question he was asking, where they're going to come from, they've got to come from the library funds.
They would, and we do our absolute best.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
I know.
That's what I'm not what I'm thinking. That's what I'm asking. Where the funds coming from?
I got you, Mr. Mylan, I got you.
Okay, thank you. I know what I'm thinking.
Expenses attributable to the library, they have to come from the library fund. So whether in the past, we may have done maintenance with district personnel on a library building, but then the library is invoiced for those expenses. So we always separate those.
Thank you, that's the point I know he needed clarity.
Before you walk off, and it might be a Greg question. So it was mentioned to potentially use district facilities. Those are district assets that fall underneath the district's balance sheet, not the library's balance sheet. Is there a transaction that has to take place in order for us? And I know we're in a unique situation, but I'm asking because it just was brought up related directly to money, because if we use a district facility, then that asset no longer belongs to the district. In my head, on the balance sheet, it now belongs to the library. So can you just explain that?
So a couple things to separate there. There's the funding and expenses that must be attributed to specific funds. So if we have at-risk expenses, they have to come out of the at-risk fund. If we have library expenses, they have to come out of the library fund. That's different than assets that the district owns and the library is a department of the district. So all of our property is owned by USD 500. So you may, I'm sure Mr. Goheen has some guidance on if we would want to have some sort of an MOU or something in place that just lines out how that would take place. But the use of it, I don't see that being any different to let the library use it than any community member that uses our facilities, or if we have a building, one school that is utilizing another's gym for an event, it's all
Okay.
kind of commingled.
Okay, thank you. And my last question is going to be, I lost it. It's okay.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Brad and team, Laura and team. A lot of information, board, a lot of information to receive. I know we asked you all to do a lot of homework in a short amount of time. So this has been really helpful and a really helpful conversation, I think, for the board. At this time, we'll pause with that information. We'll ask Mr. Schrader to come up as he has a comment, community comment specific to the library board, and then we'll break for an executive session and then continue with the agenda.
Thank you. My name is Jim Schrader. I'm here with my colleague, Rosalind Brown. Thank you for letting us speak after this presentation, which was a really good presentation. But together, Rosalind and I are co-chairs of the community-based KCK Advisory Committee for a 21st Century Library. As well, we are both members of the governing board of the KCK Public Library Foundation. So over the last decades, the foundation has been providing supplemental funding and financial support for certain KCK library programs and functions. And for the last 3 years, the advisory committee has been actively working with the library and district staff to get the main library replaced with a library that truly is able to address our community's needs going into this 21st century. We first would like to acknowledge our Superior Library staff, whose performance has consistently been one of the strengths highlighted by library users. They have persevered despite working conditions downtown that are far too often inadequate, even unpleasant, and sometimes unsafe. Second, we appreciate the work of this board, what you have done guiding the work of the public library and the school district, shepherding our community's tax dollars wisely and successfully in order to meet essential community needs and interests. So in your deliberations that are going to be coming forward, our advisory committee and the Public Library Foundation make the request that you weigh carefully all of these factors. The goal has to be that we create a public-facing new facility that one library user envisioned with these words: a true downtown beacon where people feel welcome, safe, comfortable, and connected. We know firsthand that the staff and administration of the KCK Library are ready to expand and enrich our community's library experience. So we encourage you as the board to be bold, imaginative, and courageous in bringing this vision to fruition for all of us here in KCK. It's time to break ground and then provide our community the 21st century library that all of us need and deserve. And I will add that we don't feel that that means that it has to be all new, but what faces the public needs to look and feel brand new. What the public now sees downtown is 1966, and they don't see a library. So the answer has to be something that appeals to the library, appeals to funders as we move forward, and addresses the needs and desires of this community. So if you have any questions, any of you, any of the public, Rosalind and I are always willing to talk. So please reach out. And for the public, if you need to reach us, just contact Laura Hunt, the Director of Public Libraries, and she'll get us connected. So thank you. If you have any questions for any of us at any time. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Schrader and Rosalind Brown. Thank you. Ms. Russell?
I remember my question, but I'm not going to dive into my question.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I love to hear myself. Can we add the deed to the downtown library on the next agenda item? I know that as we pursue options, we will also need to reflect on the requirements of that deed, and I believe that one component of that did involve educational components from I remember seeing it a long time ago, and so just making sure that as we look at options, we also look at the deed of the library and make sure that that stays at the top of mind.
Thank you, Ms. Russell. We'll definitely make sure that that's added. Ms. Clark?
Hello, thank you for the public comment. I really, really appreciate it. Mr. Lopez, maybe we need to say out loud what our next steps are. I don't know if that comes from you or from our presenter.
Yeah, we'll do that after our executive session. There's some
Okay.
things we've got to discuss.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder, though, Ms. Clark. Okay, so, and Ms. Clark, Mr. Mylan, you should have the Zoom link for the executive session. Just please make sure that you log out or are muted from the general open session when you join that. And I do see and thank you, Ms. Smith, for the reminder there. Is there a motion to accept as an informational item the main library project update as submitted?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? Ms. Smith, thank you.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Thank you, Board. Okay. Board, is there a motion to recess to executive session for attorney-client consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under COMA to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Pegram, Dr. Jones, Mr. Hansford, Dr. Selena Swillick, Brad McKenzie, Justin Roth, Steve Potter, Kristen McSparron, Laura Hunt, Sam Moore, Doug Clements, Miguel Martin. I think that's it.
You sure?
I think that's it. Half the room is coming with us. And Ms. Smith, I sent you the email with the names of folks, so easier for track.
Second.
For 20 minutes, going in at 11:10.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All right, Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen. Thank you.
Thank you. And board will be meeting in the East Wing or right next door, 333?
Which one? I think 330.
333
Enough
can
seats.
accommodate us.
Doug, tell us which one works.
Thank you.
Doug will direct you when you get down there.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Clark, seconded by Ms. Russell. Any questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell, Dr. Nguyen.
Yeah, thank you. Motion to extend executive session for 15 minutes. Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Dr. Nguyen. Questions? Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell, Dr. Nguyen.
Thank you. ahead and reconvene. I believe Ms. Clark, Mr. Mylan are online with us. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start.
Yes, we are.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
All right, motion to return to open session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell,
Rachel Russell, yes.
Dr. Nguyen.
All right, thank you, board. So we are on agenda item 8, board updates and approval. Board, these have come before us at least once and are being recommended for approval today. First on the agenda, it's recommended the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the contract with Kafaro Way as submitted by Dr. Cook, Executive Director of Early Childhood, Ms. Lisa Walker, and Dr. Stubblefield.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on this item? For discussion, hearing none. Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, board, it's recommended the Kansas City, Kansas Board of Education approve the ratified agreement with the National Education Association, KCK, for the 2025-2026 school years as submitted by Dr. Jones and Dr. Stubblefield.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? I'll just ask one quick question. Do we know when this will all be processed and
Retro and increases will be reflected on the October 15th and 30th. So
okay.
Can you clarify that?
the increase will be on the 15th, correct? And retro will be on the 30th.
The
the
30th
latest.
of September?
October.
Okay.
By the end of October, they'll have retro. Increases will definitely be on the 15th. Retro at the latest will be the 30th.
Okay. And I want to repeat it back to you. On the 15th of October, the updated increases will be reflected on paychecks. By the October 30th paycheck, retro pay will be paid out.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
That is correct.
I just want to make sure for the record and for anybody listening that we all are on the same page.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question,
Mr. Mylan?
Oh, sorry.
for my clarification, the retro goes back to when?
It goes back to the start of the,
One, or is it, go ahead, I'm sorry.
it goes back to the start of the fiscal year. Now, everyone that's on that agreement, they're not necessarily 261-day employees. But everything really officially starts for July the 1st. July 1st to June the 30th.
Depending on their start
Yeah.
day. For teachers, it's the first day that they came back, which was August 5th or something. So yes.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you. Additional questions? Just thank you to all the team and everyone involved in getting to this point in the process. So I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's been a part of this and to help us get to this. So thank you to everyone, including board members, staff, and representatives from the union, teachers, and other staff. Ms. Brownlee Page.
I have a comment. Is it possible, because there's still some confusion from some people about their start dates and where they're on the scale? Is it possible to review that or send something out? 'Cause
So I will say if there are people who are confused, they should contact HR because individual, like we both could be on a teaching contract, but I have 10 extra days, so that's different from the general. The general information is on the website. If someone is confused or don't think is accurate, they should contact HR and they can tell them about theirs specifically.
Okay, so they need to contact HR, because I'm getting calls from time, and people aren't clear.
So
And
I just
and
want to
I
be
know
clear
it
that what's
varies.
on the website is last year's, or the last one, that 24, 25, because,
Not for that.
No, she's asking about their start date. She asked a
Oh,
question.
start date.
That you were asking about. And then on the scale, once the scale is updated,
It's not about the start date. Some people are still saying, some are ahead of them, and how can I be here, and then they get ahead of me? So I just thought maybe
so I'll
we
let
need to
Greg
clear that up.
address that, but if they have questions, they should
Yeah.
contact HR.
The short answer is they should contact HR. You're talking about somebody who says, I'm not placed correctly on the salary schedule.
Right.
Yeah, that's an individual question for each teacher. If they've got a concern about where they're placed, they just need to contact HR and find out whether they're.
Now, is any particular person they need to talk to, or if they call,
Well, that's up to Dr.
someone will
Jones.
refer them to the right
It's
person?
Aaron Watkins. That's who they should reach out to. Aaron Watkins.
Aaron?
Aaron Watkins.
Okay, gotcha.
And the scale online will be updated. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but this, just to be clear,
That's gonna vary.
the dollars in the scale have changed based on the new contract, but the scale itself has not changed. Everybody moves on the scale, but the scale's still the same. It's just has different dollar numbers.
But their placement question is related to the current negotiated, and I feel like Mr. Jones already has an understanding of what's happening, and there's some miscommunication somewhere on the, whatever. We're pushing people to them, but I think before people get there, they want to look at the scale to make sure they're understanding the movement. Because I think part of it has to do with what's added to the base and what's added on the step. And so I think that's, once the scale is posted, it will help some of that.
And we couldn't technically post the scale until you all approved it.
Thank you.
Mr. Mylan, you had a question?
Well, I left my hand up. I thank Ms. Page for pushing that a little further. You all kind of answered, the superintendent answered my question, because there has been some confusion. That's why I presented that question about the retro date, because it goes back and forth and it's not clear to some employees. I've been getting this feedback as well. So thanks for letting us know who to contact when people have these questions, to make sure that their start date and they're treated fairly. So that's the question. So thanks for diving into that question a little bit further. I'm glad it's handled. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional questions, comments? Hearing none, again, thank you, everyone. Ms. Smith, roll call, please.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page,
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes, apologies.
Thank you. Next, we'll dive into agenda item 9, board. We will have an update and report regarding our Kansas assessment. I see Dr. Conrad coming to the podium. Good afternoon, Dr. Conrad.
Good afternoon, Board President Lopez, rest of the board, Dr. Stubblefield. So our state assessment results were delayed a bit this year because of a standard setting. But they were approved by the State Board of Education a few weeks ago. We have the data, and we want to emphasize that we have sent out this information to parents through their buildings. So all buildings have been provided this information so that parents can access their scores via the KITE parent portal. And so I want to walk through that first on how parents can gain access to see their score reports, their student score reports. And so there is a website, and we have uploaded all of the guardian emails, the primary guardian, we've uploaded their email into the parent portal. So the parents can go to this website and enter their email address. They can then get started, and they will be sent a code in their email that we have on file in Infinite Campus, and use that code to go ahead and download reports to see their students' information. When a parent logs in, they will be able to see all their children associated with them in the household, and we have, wherever they are the primary guardian, we have submitted that and associated it with the parent. They could see all reports that students have taken throughout the school year, including if they take any of the mini assessments and or the interim assessments. We did provide somewhat of a outline. The state actually provided this, that parents can or schools can send out to parents to help them understand how best to access the parent portal. And we've also included some frequently asked questions for parents and guardians to be able to access these reports. If at any time they are struggling to get in, they can contact their building, the school that their child attends, and receive assistance there on how to update their email address and or get the parent, the guardian email that's on file so they can type in the correct one. Now we've also gotten the results back, and so we have a comparison. This is a baseline year for us for the entire state, where this is a new assessment. It's on a new scale. So our previous scale, your scores could range from 220 to 380. On the new scale, the scores range from 400 to 700. The proficiency categories have also adjusted slightly. And so your category 2 has adjusted down a bit. And so this is ELA, proficiency. And we can see here the orange line is the percent of students that were listed in performance levels 3 and 4. And we can see how that has adjusted for the 24-25 school year, which is the blue line. The bars at the bottom represent the difference between the two. So you can see in 3rd grade, we had almost a 10% difference in performance level, and that shows up on the lines above it. And so you can see that 2023 was close to 15% proficient. In 24-25, we have about 25% proficient. And that difference is in this bar. So you see 4th grade didn't change as much. Neither did 6th grade or 7th grade, but we did see changes in proficiency in 3rd, 5th, 8th, and 10th that were a bit more significant. We also have a comparison between 23-24 and 24-25 and kind of how it displays. The reason I wanted to include this chart is because 24-25, the new cuts, they tried to stabilize a few of the proficiency cuts over grades. You can see the 23-24, there is a larger amount of students that are in performance level 2 in 4th grade. We saw that dip, everybody saw this dip, not really dip, an increase in level 2. And in the new assessment, they tried to even that out a bit more. So there was less confusion around how students were performing year over year. Math proficiencies, we see in this, of course, was statewide. In 3rd grade, we actually saw the inverse, where we had less students proficient. And so that was actually a decrease, and that shows up on the bar chart below, that you actually see it going down. And again, this was statewide. And then every other grade level, you see that there was an increase of our students that were classified as proficient across the grade levels. So the proficiency cuts, what the state was seeing with external data points, and what we were seeing internally as well, is that high level 2s actually were achieving the outcomes that we would anticipate they would achieve on ACT, on graduation rates, on post-secondary success. They were seeing the same trends. And when they set the cut scores, they instructed all the teachers, typically there's 3 rounds, and in that final round, they instructed the teachers to take into consideration external data points, which included NAEP, which included ACT, which included some of our proficiency or our at-risk screeners. And with that, they did adjust the cut to incorporate more students that previously would have been level 2 into the new level 3 category. And so this was our baseline data. So we can take this data and we can use it moving forward to look longitudinally. We were told by KSDE that these two things really, the old test and the new test, should not be connected together. And so we are seeing this as a break in our data, and moving forward, this will be our baseline so that we can track progress over time. So what questions do we have?
Thank you, Dr. Conrad. Open up for questions.
I have a question. Looking at the scores, then what's our plan? How do we get our scores to go up more? And what are we going to do for English and math to get that done? What are we going to do as a district?
I think that's a fantastic question, and typically we have those quarterly board reports that we bring you on the activities, the things that we are doing to improve that. I believe that our first one is scheduled for December 9th.
Whatever the December meeting is.
December meeting is.
But in general, Ms. Page, it's similar when I think you all approved that for us to go, it was in the end of the week. A couple of things that the Diploma Plus team and the instructional teams are doing, they are doing the walkthroughs. All of the schools still have their school improvement plans with their targets. And those walkthroughs with that LIFT is what we're calling the tool. They're making sure that we are, in conjunction with our KISA goal, implementing our high-quality instructional materials with fidelity. They also continue to implement MTSS to support and supplement that. But we'll have the specific correlation details around the things that we're doing at that meeting. But there was some initial information included in the end of the week. And Mr. Hansford, I don't see Dr. Fernandez Fleur. Is there anything that you want to add, you can add to that with what the teams are doing?
So in addition to the LIFT instrument that Dr. Stubblefield mentioned, there is also, as you know, we are implementing high-quality instructional materials at every grade level now, working in CKLA in the elementary and iReady Math at this point. So we've done a lot of professional learning at the beginning of this year to ensure high-quality instruction in the classrooms, as well as we'll be using the formative assessments that accompany those materials, as well as our district benchmark assessments to track students' mastery of our priority standards that are outlined in our Guaranteed Viable Curriculum documents, and so those are online. So there's a lot of work currently. Our focus right now currently is on high-quality instruction in raising those outcomes for students.
And I ask that because I don't know if they informed you. You and I are on the academic committee, and we're supposed to be having a meeting in October. So we need to be able to show parents these scores and what we're doing, as well as we're still having an issue with student attendance, and that does affect how they score. They need to be here. At the conference we just went to, they pushed that over and over about one after COVID. Well, they were stopping coming before COVID, and now that COVID is over, we still have a lot of people who aren't coming to school. So what do we do to get our attendance up and to keep kids involved and excited about going to school? So those are some things we need to be able to cover and to explain what we're doing and what we need them to do. So I didn't know if you were aware, and I know we need to get together and talk to be prepared so when the parents do come, we can share in October what's going on.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'll be sure that we have, I know Dr. Fernandez Flores' team will have tons to bring to that meeting to be able to share at that time.
And I will just add a couple of things. Our attendance did improve last year when we looked at the data, and we shared that at convocation. But Mr. Hansford is aware, I shared with him the dates, and then the two of you can get together. And so we'll share it there, and then we'll share it globally at the December meeting for both of them.
And I know we did go up, but you still want to get,
right.
We need to be higher.
Right.
And what do
And
we
so-
need to do, and how do we get us, the community, parents, all working on the same page?
I completely agree.
And then I had a question, Mr. Conrad. Yeah, I don't know if I heard you correctly, that you said you couldn't use last year and this year's data, that some organization.
KSD, the State Department of Education, yep.
That just seems absurd, because have to be able to show.
But it's a different the cut scores are different and the tests are different. So what they're saying is, like, so if you compared it, it looked like in some areas we had a 10% increase of students who went to level 2 or 3. And so they're saying, when you look at that, that is not true. But what it is factual is, with the new cut scores, there were students previously who we were saying weren't meeting level 2 or 3 or 4 that should have been included in that. So that's why this year is baseline, is what they're like, look at this as a fresh start. And so next year when they take the test, you'll be comparing apples to apples. While there's some similarity, they changed the test. So it's not, you really can't compare the two. And that's.
No, I know that's what they said. I don't agree with that, but that's what they said. That's all you can do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Russell.
Thank you for this report, and thank you. Thank you for also including the parent part. I would like to maybe recommend that we go back to our EDs and ask. This was the first time that I had heard about it. I'm quick on my feet, so I did it. It was simple, so kudos that it was simple and easy.
Perfect.
And my kid is just so great. But I guess my question is, the data that's in the KITE parent portal is different than the data that's in, so when I look at the CAP assessment on Infinite Campus, the scores are different. And so what would be the difference between what it says 24, 25 CAP here versus what it says on KITE portal? Why would there be a difference?
I'd have to see the difference to troubleshoot that.
Okay.
So
That's fine, that's fine. We can talk about that offline, but
Yeah,
I
let's
do
do.
want to say that is a differentiation, and so that may be something that we need to
Yeah,
also follow up.
It shouldn't be.
But in preparation for the academic committee, it would be great if we also, following up to make sure that information was shared with the appropriate people. And then B, the second part is, could we potentially do some type of communication around, have you access the parent portal to understand? I appreciate the document. When you click on the progress report, it pops it up. It shows what 1, 2, 3, 4. So like, it isn't like people can't understand it. And so just kudos to you all for finding it. I'm not excited about it being another platform, but I'm grateful for the accessibility and just the information that it does provide. Thank you.
And Mr. Lopez, I have one more question. What about that grandparent or that older guardian who doesn't have the technology skills? How do we help them? They want to be a part. They want to help their child. And maybe I can't do all of that. So what are we offering for them?
A paper version can be printed by the school, so if they request a paper version, the school can log in, they can print out that form and hand it to the guardian.
And is that on there as well? I don't remember reading that. That if I'm not computer literate, that I can request a paper version? 'Cause
That's what we're asking the schools to communicate directly to the primary caregivers, guardians, and families. I do want to clarify, Ms. Page, and I know there are grandparents who are the primary guardian parent, but if they're not that person, we can't provide it to.
No, I get
No,
that.
I'm just
just
saying in
saying if
case
someone
somebody
has
hears
legal
that.
documentation, I'm not just saying any.
No, I was just clarifying in case somebody else.
Yeah, we would want them to. We just don't want anybody to come in, but if they have the documentation, I need some help. Who's helping me?
The schools will communicate that directly, and we'll make sure that they do that. The EDs of schools will make sure that when the schools send out, here's the KITE information, if you don't have technology or would prefer a paper copy, they'll let them know who to contact at the school. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions? Comments? Thank you, Dr. Conrad.
Thank you.
Okay, next board, communications, we'll hear from our superintendent, Dr. Stubbs.
I'm going to be quick. Just a few things. First, I do want to share that there will be a trade partners meet and greet at Sumner, hosted by McCowan Gorton. This event will allow local trades to meet with them to discuss the Sumner High School addition, and they will introduce the project and help you navigate the bidding process. Food will be provided. It is this Thursday, September 25th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I do have hard copies to share with board members so you can share, but I know they've made intentional contact with different trades groups for people, local people, to have an opportunity to bid on those projects. The other things that I have this is just October 1st, we just added this. We will be at New Stanley at 2:30 for the staff at New Stanley to provide information about boundaries and the possible impact for that community. And then that evening, beginning at 6:00 p.m., we will have the same and similar information for the family and community members, specifically in the New Stanley or in that area, so that will be available. The New Stanley principal is communicating directly with all the stakeholders regarding that.
I'm sorry, what was the date again?
Next Wednesday, October 1st. Then October 4th, next Saturday, we will be, is that next Saturday? We will be participating in the Silver City Parade. So any staff member who wants to join us, just let Edwin know. But all of our schools that are in that community typically participate, so we're looking forward to a good time. We also will, that evening, be attending the NAACP Freedom Fund banquet. We do have a table. If board members, if you have not let Ms. Downey know that you are attending, please let her know so we don't give your seat away. And finally, October 6th, the board will be hosting a listening and learning session here at district office. We will start communicating details out about that as well. And last thing I just want to say, Arrowhead is back in their building. I did visit with them this morning. They're excited to be back. We just want to thank everyone again, all of Doug's team, Kansas City, Kansas Community College, actually Karen Martinez, who made sure that they had lunch every day, and we appreciate the flexibility of the staff, and all of the personnel that went out every day to help with arrival, dismissal, and lunch, and everything in between. Just want to say thank you, and again, thank you to the Arrowhead community for being so flexible.
Thank you, Dr. Stubblefield. I'll also be brief. Just following up on Ms. Clark's question regarding the library, great information today. The next time that the board will discuss the library will be at the second October meeting, which is October 28th. Where we will bring back additional information and have further discussion on the library and potential next steps regarding the library. So thank you for that question, Ms. Clark. I just wanted to circle back or close that loop and say that that will be the next time the board will discuss any next steps or action steps with the library. Also, just quickly, I do want to say I attended last week the Artist Mentorship Making Waves Symposium, where luncheon, where they actually highlighted the school district. This was an international luncheon where they had folks from across the globe and across the country come and learn about art as a form of working through mental and behavioral health issues that are going on with especially focusing on youth. And they had, if you remember, Enrique came and provided an update and played his instrument for the board at a board meeting last year. And he talked about the pilot program that they had here at KCKPS. So I thought it was really great to see and hear KCKPS lifted up on an international scene with folks that were there from Paris and other countries learning about what we're doing here in Kansas City, and Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools was highlighted, so I thought that was great. And then I'll just end with, I just want to give a shout out, only because I see his social media quite a bit, but Coach Cam over at Washington doing some amazing things, building that football program up and building up those young men and those scholar athletes. Thank you, Coach, and thank you to all of our coaches who give a ton of their time and their talent and are more than just coaching the sport that they're coaching, but are mentors to our scholars in our community and building relationships. So thank you, Coach Cam, for all you're doing, and to all of our coaches who are doing an amazing job out in our community and with our scholars. But he's doing a great job building up that football program over there. So congratulations to all of those scholar athletes. We'll open it up to any other board members. Ms. Russell.
I will just keep my remarks brief as well. I just wanted to continue to thank the community for showing up to the sports. It's been great to see alumni. It's been great to see the cheerleaders, the bands, the dance, all over social media, really bringing back school spirit. Not to say that it's been gone, but it's something about this season has been really, really exciting. But I also want to remind our families and our parents that we also have a responsibility to make sure that our kids are on their best behavior at these activities. I don't want our district to get to a point where we have to make some hard decisions. And so just having those conversations and reminding students about behaviors at these activities is so, so important so that we don't have to make decisions based on the behaviors of some. And so while there's lots of excitement and a lot of really great fun things going on, just really want to echo and say out loud that I really, really hope that our community can put a stop to some of this fighting and the inappropriate comments and all of those things that are currently happening at some of our games. So that's my comments for now. Thank you. Oh, I also wanted to say Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to recognize that. I am surprised that I beat you to it, but, and then just gratitude for everyone that showed up to the Boundary Committee meetings. If you were unable to attend, there is a great recording. Make sure you watch it, complete the survey, all of that. So not that I had to beat you to it. I'm reflecting on what I said. Sorry. Thank you.
Do you know when the survey is, how long the survey will be for Boundary Committee?
Till next Wednesday, October 1st, and then the committee will reconvene on October 14th. Yes, 16th, one of those days that week. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I did say it at our last board meeting, so. Ms. Brownlee Page.
I again would like to thank Arrowhead Middle School, our family, the kids, the staff, the administration. I went out there 3 or 4 days and they were working. Some people may have thought it was just playtime. They worked, and they worked extremely hard. And it wasn't easy for them to have to go through what they went through last year and then come back. So they showed a lot of endurance, hard work, and they worked. And just, they need to be commended for what they did, and our kids as well. And then I had a chance as a legislator to go and attend a health forum. And Bill 340, it's a federal grant that provides assistance with medical help and with pharmacies for urban and rural areas. They're trying to get rid of it on the federal level. And we just need people to write to their representatives, their congressmen, because they're going to bring it up in January when we go back. And they do provide medicine for people who need it, who are struggling to pay for it. And they also offer, they have some health clinics where you can go in and get assistance. So people need help. People are struggling. Some of us, we don't have to worry about that. But there are a lot of people who are struggling to pay for their medical care. So if you get an opportunity to go to a forum and visit with your representatives or any town halls, whatever, let them know that you support keeping the bill, because it's not a state fund, it's a federal fund that's supporting it, and we need some help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brownlee Page. Mr. Mylan?
Yeah, I just be brief to all. I just want to, I'm thankful that I had opportunity to attend the CUBE conference, and it was very beneficial in a lot of aspects, but one that really stands out is one of the board members, I do believe they were from back east or Chicago or Detroit area. And she stressed that the connection with the parents and the students and the children, excuse me, and the board is very important in the district. You all, and I'm happy and elated that we do the listening and learning. I think we do 2 or 3 We cannot do too many of them. It might be time consuming. Sometimes it might be costly. But you know, where things are costly and beneficial, you have to sacrifice. And what I want to say is this, I got something from it because she said the connection with the students, and the students have graduated. And like Ms. Page said, the older parents and the grandparents, it takes all of us, you all, to work together in a cohesive way. And Ms. Russell stressed about, not to be on a soapbox, about attitudes and frustrations and things that happen on the outside, but it stems through all of us and goes from the parents to the teachers to the community, the grandparents. So saying that the community listening sessions are very important and very beneficial, and we will see positive, you'll see positive results when we do that. So I just want to commend us as a district to continue to do that, not take it lightly, and let's stay on the forefront to invite, to let us know, to let the community and the parents know what we're doing, and we care, and what you can do as well to help that child when you send that child to school every morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mylan. And then you just, I just remembered, thank you, Ms. Russell, for reminding me as well, or just remember our board retreat coming up on the 29th, and that should be on your calendar from 2 to 6 p.m. at MVP Law. So if you have any questions, let us know, but the retreat is on the 29th. Hope to see you all, board members there in attendance. And the agenda has been shared with everyone, so agenda items are out for you as well. Dr. Stubblefield.
I did forget to mention that this afternoon from 4:30 to 5:30, the art department will be hosting Beyond the Classroom, their reception. If you haven't already received an invitation, it's a great event, and they display lots of student art. And that's today in the East Wing.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, board. Next would entertain a motion to recess to executive session for consultation with the attorney on matters which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship under COMA, and to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Pegram, Dr. Jones, Mr. Hansford for 5 minutes, going in at 12:40.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark. Randy Lopez.
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.
Robert Mallon Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page.
Wanda Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll let Monica.
Yes. Motion to return to open session, please. Is there a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Mr. Mylan. Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark? Randy?
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Okay, thank you. Randy Lopez?
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.?
Allen Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page? Rachel Russell?
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Motion to recess to executive session to discuss matters of non-elected personnel in order to protect the privacy interests of parties involved under coma, include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Jones, Mr. Hansford, and Dr. Pegram for 5 minutes, going in at 12:52.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Ms. Clark. Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark?
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez?
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.?
Robert Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page? Rachel Russell? Thank you.
All right, thank you. right, motion to return to open session, please. Motion moved by Mr. Mylan, seconded by Ms. Russell. Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda.
Randy Lopez,
Randy Lopez, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to recess to executive session to discuss matters of non-elected personnel in order to protect the privacy interests of the parties involved in Tacoma, to include Dr. Stubblefield, Mr. Goheen, Dr. Jones, for 5 minutes, going in at 1:03.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Russell, seconded by Ms. Clark.
Can we,
Yolanda Clark,
Yes, hold on, Ms. Smith, I'm sorry.
sorry,
7 minutes, 1:10.
So we'll start at 1:03 for 7 minutes. Ms. Clark, are you okay with that? Changing that motion?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Now, Ms. Smith.
Yolanda Clark,
Yolanda Clark, yes.
Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes?
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Mylan Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee Page, Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion to return to open session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Ms. Smith?
Yolanda Clark, Randy Lopez,
Randy, yes.
Robert Mylan Jr.,
Collins Jr., yes.
Wanda Brownlee
Wanda
Page,
Brownlee Page, yes.
Rachel Russell.
Rachel Russell, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you, staff. With that, have a great day and rest of your week. Meeting's adjourned.